What's going on, YouTube? This is BBSP. I know I haven't been covering the playoffs like I've could have and everything, but I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, with y'all, my subscribers. I don't know about y'all, but I'm just about done with the NBA, man. You know, too much dick riding, too many narratives driven, too much hate, too much people in the media rooting for certain players to fail. Everybody has an agenda, including here on YouTube. You know, I don't know, man. It's just that I've attached myself sort of a little bit to LeBron James. The reason being is because, yeah, some things he does can be nerve-wracking. It can be, little. It can get on people's nerves. I understand that. But I sympathize with him a little bit because I myself have had, naysayers and haters and people that wish bad on you and everything. But to the vitriol, I've seen it, and some of it is because LeBron has chosen to dive himself in the political field and align himself with the left, liberals. You got a lot of conservatives that are coming for his head, namely in the political world, because he's chosen to take this stance. But that's that's another subject for another time, you know what I mean? But, as far as this goes, I kind of sympathize with LeBron because I myself have had haters and doubters myself. I still do. Hell, even in Ohio, where LeBron James is from. A lot of people, when in life you're successful and when life you're trying to be successful, you're trying to fit yourself in a certain crowd, people are going to reject you and shit on you. They're going to shit on you. Even your own family will shit on you. But I'm getting away from that, reason being because I really wanted LeBron James to win that 5th championship. Not because I don't think that would make him the GOAT, number one, but number two, that would wreak a lot of people's nerves who have been shitting on him for years. People have tried to, discredit this man's accomplishments. People try to say, oh, he's a bum, he can't play the game, whatever, he's a choke artist and shit. I just wanted, that feeling, to get that feeling to, have people just mad and upset that this man won again. But that didn't happen. A lot of stuff went wrong for the Lakers, namely Anthony Davis and his health problems. But for me, this is deeper than that, man. Like, the environment around the league overall has become toxic. You got a lot of players that rely on the three-point shot. A lot of players that you have centers down that rather take threes instead of playing down low and be in the post. The low post center is basically become extinct. I say the last low post player we actually seen that actually committed himself to the post was probably Tim Duncan. You can say Joel Embiid plays a little bit down the post, but he takes 3-point shots too. Even back it was almost a sin for a center to take 3-point shots. A lot of times when you see a center take threes, they get benched. The game has changed to the point where everybody has an opinion. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody thinks their word is bond and all that stuff. See, when I started watching the game, man, late 80s, you had, Magic, Bird, and Jordan and Isaiah. Yeah, they were rivals on the court, but it seemed like to me the environment around back then, man, was a little bit more sane, a little bit more acceptable. You know what I mean? Sorry for the cough. But anyway, it just seemed like to me it was a better environment back there because you didn't have overzealous fanboys in the media. You didn't have overzealous people in the media within that's not within the basketball community shitting on players because they take a certain stance, they or they believe in certain values. You know, it's come to the point where now you got former players shitting on current players. See, I didn't agree with that Charles Barkley statement, Anthony Street Clothes Davis, because for me, it's just that I don't understand. I like, what the fuck? You question this man's manhood, you know, and the pressure, the collective pressure from the media and former players forced Anthony Davis to get the hell out there and further jeopardize his career. Charles Barkley to me, man, it's like he's not an analyst, man. He's like that very bitter old former player who's envious of all these new guys because, number one, because of the contracts, and number two, they got more leeway as far as which teams they can go. See, Charles Barkley forced his way out of both the Sixers and the Suns. Okay, that whole situation got ugly with you know, basically forced his way out, basically acted a fool, you know, and both times he forced his way out. He didn't leave. He didn't leave in free agency. He got traded both times. Once from Philly to Phoenix, and the other time from Philly to Houston. You know, so I sense a little envy, a little jealousy from Charles Barkley, and where he comes from as far as being a so-called analyst isn't very sincere, in my opinion. Same with Shaq. You know, his little squabbles with Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. You know, back in the '90s and late '80s, especially '90s, you would see all the former players giving the current players their props. Though I would say that you did have Wilt Chamberlain try to, you know, throw some shade at Michael Jordan, you know what I mean, which I didn't agree with, you know, but he was one of the few. He was only one of the few, you know. Overall, you had all the players giving props to the current and future players coming up. You know, I remember when Bill Russell was an analyst on back in the, you know, when the NBA was on CBS in the mid '80s. He would always compliment players. He would always give them props. Hell, you know, even though they're, you know, teammates as far as like, you know, Celtic lore, he said, "You made me proud of being a Boston Celtic," right to Larry Bird. You don't see that nowadays, man. And a lot of these former players are like envious and jealous of these new current players. You know, and I don't understand that, you know. See, back then, like I said, players from the previous generation acknowledged the greatness of the players of the current generation. Now it's just a whole agenda out of control, you know. Then you got a whole bunch of players who resent LeBron James, you know what I mean? And well, I'm not saying all, but it's like a certain few, you know. And it's like, okay, you got Kyrie out here saying playing with LeBron James is toxic. But didn't you force your way out of Boston? And didn't you say, Kyrie, that playing, we weren't good enough last year with the New Jersey Nets? And this is all with Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert on the team. You know? So, you know, and I don't know, man. And you got people on here on YouTube who think they know the game. People are dishonest. People who only make their channel in an effort to discredit LeBron James, disrespect LeBron James. You know, they know who they are, man. You know, matter of fact, Lakers getting eliminated got so bad, a few subscribers I had to unsubscribe from because they were talking that bullshit. Oh, his legacy is ruined. Oh, he ain't got no art. Oh, he ain't a real Laker. All that bullshit. You know what? I had to unsubscribe from a few people, man, because I don't want to deal with the bullshit no more. You know? I don't want to deal with the bullshit no more, man. You know, I'm just fed up with the environment of the NBA, man. And it's like when I first started watching, it was more of a sane environment. Yeah, you had your rivalries. Yeah, you had players going back and forth. But back then, people were objective. People were more objective. You didn't have this agenda-driven shit you see now. You didn't have the Skip Baylesses, the Stephen A. Smith, the punk-ass shit Rob Parker's around. You didn't have these crews out here like Jason Whitlock thinking they know the sport, thinking they know the fucking sport. They don't know shit. They don't know a damn thing. You understand? They don't know nothing. They don't know a damn thing. But yet they get a platform. They always get a platform, man, and it's like, and there's more, you know, and it's like for me, I'm just about sick and tired of it, you know. You got Kevin Durant building yet another super team, masterminding yet another super team, and let's face it, now that the Lakers are gone, more than likely they probably gonna win the whole damn thing. Okay, I mean Milwaukee can give them some problems, and I think Giannis is gonna put up record numbers. But then again, that shit may not be enough because on the side of Brooklyn, you've got you got one superstar, two MVPs, and one All Star. Now I know some of y'all motherfuckers who will come up and say, "Oh well, you weren't complaining when LeBron had his super teams." First of all, LeBron was only on one goddamn super team. Okay, let's get that straight. Miami, I mean, they was a super team. Okay. But all this shit about Cleveland Cavaliers and the Lakers being a super team, that's bullshit. Kevin Love was putting up empty stats in Minnesota, okay? And Kyrie Irving was just a malcontent who happened to be an all-star before LeBron got there. So go ahead with that bullshit. Cleveland Cavaliers a super team. If they were a super team, then why didn't they beat the Golden State Warriors in 2015? Okay? But I'm getting off topic here. Like I said, when I started watching basketball in the late 80s and the 90s on, like, there was no agendas. Everybody was objective. Sports journalism was fair, it was honest, and it was unbiased. As I noticed in the 2000s, when the 2000s hit, you had more fanboys, you had more people on YouTube fanboying, and you had agendas. Most of being, listen, I think excuse me, I think Michael Jordan is the GOAT, okay? He's the greatest of all time to me, the best basketball player I ever seen. But his fan base has got to be one of the most toxic, straight up, a bunch of assholes around, man. And I'm starting to notice a trend here. Any player who comes, first you had the comparisons with all the people who were saying they were the next Mike, Harold Miner, Jerry Stackhouse, Grant Hill. But Kobe came along, okay? Now, mind you, I think Kobe's kind of overrated, but I'm not going to be as far as to say he wasn't great, which he was. He's hands down the top 10 player of all time. I got him like around nine or 8. But I'm starting to notice a trend with Jordan fans. they try so hard to discredit any player that's a threat to Michael Jordan's all-time legacy. Okay, they did it with Kobe, right? They did it with Kobe. They said he was a shot jacker. They said he was inefficient. They said he's too much like Mike. You had videos all over trying to discredit Kobe Bryant, okay? And namely, a YouTuber on here named Bruce Bliss. He started this trend. Every accomplishment Kobe made, every accomplishment Kobe got, him along with a bunch of other Jordan fans discredited Kobe Bryant hard. But here's what happened, okay? Once they knew that Kobe wasn't gonna win that sixth championship, they breathed a sigh of relief. But when LeBron won his first championship in the Miami Heat, they pointed all their vitriol towards him. You understand what I'm saying? And they started doing the same vitriol and shit that they aimed towards Kobe Bryant. Now, all of a sudden, they good with Kobe. All of a sudden, they cool with Kobe. Especially now since his unfortunate passing. But what I'm getting at is, you didn't have fans trying to put Wilt against Kareem. You didn't have fans trying to put Bird against Magic. You can argue and say who's better in your opinion, but it didn't come down to throwing insults at that dude or calling him a sexual or a tard or some shit like that. I've dealt with a whole bunch of, now mind you, I still feel like Kobe Bryant fans are a little over sensitive, man, when it comes to this guy. Come to this dude, but rest in peace to him. You know, I got nothing against him at the end of the day. It's just the fans, you know. It's like Michael Jordan fans didn't attack Magic Johnson fans didn't attack Michael Jordan fans. They appreciate each other's greatness back then when I first started watching the NBA. Okay? Now you got this toxic environment to where you give LeBron James any kind of credit, you're a bronze sexual or you're a fucking dick rider and shit. You know? Or if you don't agree that LeBron James is a GOAT or you criticize him, critique him in any kind of way, oh, you're a hater. I'm just sick and tired of all the environment, man. More so with the discredited, man. Stephen A. Smith's punk ass out here talking about Russell Westbrook is not a winner and all this bullshit. I'm just tired of it, man. Like, end of the day, from a historic standpoint, I'll still cover the, I'll still do my, from a historical standpoint. But as far as covering today's league, covering the NBA from now on, I've lost interest and I'm no longer going to be covering this shit because the environment is too toxic. Number one, the fans are full of shit, and you got YouTubers on here that make shit worse. And I had to unsubscribe from motherfuckers because of this shit. So, like I said, people who are watching this year's playoffs, they're wasting their fucking time because I'm telling you, Brooklyn Nets about to run away with this shit. A lot of series, be 4-0, 4-1. I know they dropped that game to Boston, but that was more so Brooklyn just not giving a fuck. Brooklyn just not giving a fuck, you know? So for me, I wouldn't be surprised if they 4-1 everything right up until the championship. And that shit is no fun, man. People want to say the Lakers championship was an asterisk in the bubble. For me, the bubble playoffs are going to be more... Excuse me. For me, the bubble playoffs are going to be more competitive than this year's playoffs. You watch. Now, the Western Conference might have some competitive, nature and everything. But I see the LA Clippers coming out the West, unfortunately, because I don't trust Utah, I don't trust Phoenix, and Denver is basically battling injury. So what I got looking forward to, Nets and the Clippers. People talking about KD and Kawhi and past LeBron and all time and shit, and Nets beat their ass for what? What type of shit is that? What's the fun in that? Basically, we got another super team that's gonna be around for a while, and they're gonna monopolize the whole goddamn thing. Okay, the whole goddamn thing, and the competition is not even gonna be there no more. You watch, Brooklyn Nets about to run away with this shit, and I'm not gonna be a hater. I give Kevin Durant his props, or either one. I'm not gonna be a hater. I give him his props at the end of the day, but I'm not gonna celebrate that shit. I'm not even gonna watch that shit. Hey, if they get it done, more power to them. Same with the Clippers. But as far as the NBA, I'm done with it, man. I'm no longer watching it. I've got more important things to do in my life. As far as arguing who's the GOAT, arguing this guy's the best or this guy's the bum. I got more shit to do in my life, man. I got more important things to do in my life than to be arguing with a bunch of people who are biased and they got their agendas any damn way. You got your agendas any people got their agendas any damn way. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, I'm done with the NBA. I'm completely done with the NBA. Like I said, from a historical standpoint, I'll still cover certain records, certain teams that achieve this milestone, or certain player that achieved this milestone. But as far as covering today's league, I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm finished. I want no more part of it. Especially we got this super team, Brooklyn Nets. As long as they're winning the championships, and as long as the Clippers are coming out of the West, I'm not watching the NBA. And I'm done. I'm straight up done with this shit. I'm done with the NBA, man.